All right. Good evening. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library to talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up. We got the MLK, observation coming up. Yeah. So what we're going to do right now is play our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we're back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. So shout out to the staff at Mott Branch that roll out the red, black, and green carpet every week. We come here, and this is live. So if there's some mistakes that happen, hey, we really can't just go back and edit it out because it's live. Hey, let's get into some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. Today, I am wearing my Impeccable Barbers hoodie. So check out everybody at Impeccable Barbers. That's on the corner of Reynolds and Bancroft. This is strip mall right there. Check them out. Obviously, I haven't had a haircut since probably 1992 when I had a hairline, but I support them. They let us keep the Final Call newspaper in the shop, and those are good people. Man, that's what I'm wearing, and as always, I'm dedicated to protecting and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else, and we're doing this for the protest community and activist culture. This is a dynamite spot where we could come and speak truth to power, zero filter, and it is what it is, you know. Hey, let's get into some intros, and then we're going to get right into the mission statement, guiding principles. Take a break, come back with our guests, and trying to wrap this up today.
Wrap this up.
I mean, you know.
Well, that was a short start. What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And again, we'd like to thank you for coming with us every single week. You know, doing a live radio podcast show isn't something many people take advantage of. Everybody's on to the other type of podcasts and topics and gossip and stuff, but we like to interview community members. And we thank you for spending this hour or so of your time with us, whether it's live or after the show, to send those people their flowers, because we're just the facilitators of this space. All the things you see behind us, of course, our new billboard, you like that? You know, you'll see it later on in the photos and stuff, is a product of our knowledge through lived experience. It's not we're going searching, researching stuff on keyboards. We actually went out and lived it.
That's right.
Hopefully it doesn't have to happen in the severity that it did in our time or civil rights and stuff, but we will be here for justice, whatever it looks like. We describe ourselves because we know sometimes you can't watch us, and we are on Spotify and stuff like that, so you can only hear us. And I'm a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts, from meeting people, from finding my space, from learning how to suffer in silence and be happy in public. That is one of the things that makes me me and Jody. So as you're also watching me make a birthday gift present and stuff, because when I talk about crystals, y'all never actually get to see me making them. So this is a couple seconds where you'll see me create something for our next guest on.
Well, I didn't know we were doing that today. I just thought we was here to, I thought we were coming here to talk smack. It makes somebody mad. You making gift. All right. Okay. All right.
But how do you get to this point? How do you get to where you deal with the traumas and unnice parts of the world and still want to help people? How do you hear no so many times, or that your dream is too big and still continue to live and manifest your reality? Well, you do it with a mission statement
and our guiding principles,
which allows you to alleviate some of the day-to-day stress of actually, you know, being the person that has to be there all the time and stuff like that. You can, you know, just share love with your community and knowledge from stuff. So this is our mission statement. This is one of the things that keep us bound together, whether it be me, Brother Washington, or another community member behind the March for Justice. It keeps us grounded. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, provoked, attacked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educator, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right. And, we're celebrating 10 years of
10
CSRN.
years going into 11.
And hopefully maybe later on we'll talk about some of our Black Lives Matter moments. Those are some of the things that we've done throughout the years that made it big, and not only a big impact on our community, but some of those things that stand out for you. So maybe we'll get into that, maybe a little bit later.
And because I always forget to talk about who or what you're wearing, because I never think of myself like that. But what I'm wearing is the one double pocketed shirt from Rochelle, which is one of my Crave organizations and stuff like that. And the shirt underneath is a summer camp, which will probably be coming back again this year.
So Rochelle giving out stuff. All right. Okay.
I give out crystals and stuff, but is Optio, you can't see it on this camera because we're over here.
No.
But you'll see it later on, is the summer camp we did with Optiogo and a whole bunch of other organizations. Shout out to Kristen Moncrief for doing that. And I look forward to this year of summer camp.
All right. These are guiding principles, bringing together different activists and concerned citizens could be challenging with the attitudes and personalities and egos. And all of us, sometimes we don't leave them out the door. We bring them in with us. So this is a way that we can do this work together without imploding. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
That means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love. Self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Before we take a break, I was checking out some news stories. I want to give a shout out to the Junction Coalition. I think that they were listed for some MLK, for an MLK award this year. And that's our sister Alicia Smith and everybody that's located at 419 Junction. I don't know how they got that address. All right, but shout out to them.
Impressive address to have.
Right. And also, one of our principals talked about 360-degree vision, honoring the wisdom from elders. And we don't necessarily have any elders to, ask for us to start or anything like that. But always thinking about that, because that was a big part of the Kwanzaa program that we asked our elders for permission. And this year, at the flag raising on the 4th of February, I think that's a Tuesday, we're going to have Sister Olivia Holden from Assets Toledo that's going to serve as our elder.
Okay.
All right.
I want to give a shout out to one person, and then it's time for a commercial and break and everything like that. But shout out to Elena Hicks for actually being on The Voice this year. I think.
Okay, I saw that.
Yep.
I didn't know what that was. Just like the Montez, I've been out of the loop for a lot. I've been out of the loop for a lot of stuff. I say that I'm cutting edge. I say that I'm up on it, but apparently I wasn't. So who is
Lena Hicks?
Yes, I was gonna say Alicia Keys.
She's one of the impressive Hicks family.
Okay.
I think we know Nate Hicks and
okay.
Maria and Jay
wow.
Rayford and artist communities and bands and church and again, she's going to be on The Voice, which again I haven't watched TV in about 25 years, but I do know that is an achievement because people.
We're going to watch that.
I
might come over your house
party.
We'll come over your house and we'll watch it together.
I opened up some creative spaces.
You did not say okay or nothing like that.
Only 3 people has been in my house in the entire time. That's how I was going to stay. But when I get my new house, I'll have housewarming parties and stuff like that. But I do want to try and highlight some more, because maybe in Black History Month, if I get enough poets together, I won't be the ending thing. I'll ask for some submissions and I'll read other people's poetry as a way of inviting that stuff. So in my segment later on, you'll hear about some Black spaces that I just found this weekend and other things. But yeah, you about ready for that commercial break?
All right, we'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. I don't know why we have the other camera on. Let's see if we can fix that. Man, I just knew we weren't going to make any mistakes live today, but it's all good. All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we come to you live. We said it was live, so it's a great chance something was going to happen. CSRN tradition, we always ask our guests who they are. What are they wearing, and what are we talking about today? So let's get it. Who are you? What are you wearing today, and what are we talking about?
So I am Haley, of course, with Pretti Protection. Today I am wearing a gray sweater and I like to call it my blueberry blue comfortable outfit.
Okay.
And then I have glasses, a necklace, and gray boots.
All right, so we're talking about Pretti Protection. It's also National Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
Yes.
All right, and we're going to get into that too, about some of the things that we can do, all of us can do to stay safe and keep our head on a swivel and stay alert. Let's start with Pretti Protection. For those who may be joining us for the first time, what is Pretti Protection, and how did you become involved in that business?
So Pretti Protection, we are a company that not only sells self-defense items, but we also educate on self-defense. I ended up in this business. I moved to Columbus, just my daughter and I. I DoorDash, I'm a social worker, so and I'm an entrepreneur. So just being out, as I was out, I realized that I can go and buy pepper spray from anywhere. I can go and buy these items from anywhere, but there's a lack of education, there's a lack of knowledge on how to properly use these things, and also, most importantly, I wanted to break the stigmatism of having weapons being bad in our community.
Right, and that's a big thing. People say that maybe if we just prayed, nothing to happen. You know, we don't have to. If I got God on my side, well, I don't have to be alert, and that may or may not be true.
Yes.
All right. So what was it that made you, I wanted to always ask, Pretti Protection, how did that name come about?
So as I was looking up protection, I remember I was just sitting there and I'm like trying, you're trying to find your business, you're trying to find the right name. I had a couple names, and as I was finding the different things out, I was just looking for pretty things. I was like, this is too much, or this is too big, or this is bulky. This is, So just as I was looking, I'm like, I want something for women. I want something that's cute. And that's how we got here.
Okay. All right. What are some of the misconceptions that you've witnessed or experienced being able to sell things to keep yourself safe?
Some of the misconceptions are, the biggest one is pray it away.
Okay.
That is a huge one. I have a lot of people who say, I just have Jesus. I just have, and I always say, well, he give us knowledge and he give us power. So I just think that's one of them, is just people think that they can just pray it away. Another one is, if you have protection, you're dangerous. You're going to be dangerous, or you're dangerous. Everyone always wants to say that we're dangerous. And I think that's another thing that people have to understand, that in other communities, they have their kids, with knives at the age of 7 and guns at the age of 5. In our community, if we feel someone has those things, it's automatically associated with a negative connotation,
That's true.
So I just want that. Those are the biggest, is just breaking that stigma of just saying, like, it's okay to be protected. We are in a world full of billions of people, and you never know what will happen. So I think those are the two biggest, is just breaking those stigmas of, of just being alert, aware, and knowledge. Knowledge is power.
All right, before I get into Human Trafficking Prevention Month, I'm looking at the website. It looks like you're slashing some prices. There was something that was $45.
Yes.
Now it's $35. I'm waiting until it's $15. But all right. So what are these? I've got 4 things right here.
So the first one is the bundle pack. It's our stun gun. So this is part of our Pretti Protection. As you see, it's very pretty. It's the blue stun gun and pepper spray. And this has rhinestones on it. It's our lipstick combo. So that was originally $45, as you may not know, but now you will know. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I did a lot of price slashing and, sales that will be only going into the end of the week for my birthday. So that was one of the top sales that I had. Also, last time I was here, I got a couple sales, and she did a review.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was a big one as well.
So you were here and you got some sales?
Yeah, I got some sales here.
Man. We didn't see nothing on the Cash App. All right, that's all good. It's all good.
So shout out to Ms. Dotson for that. And then, so that was one of them. I also had the defense comb as well. That's typically $20. Mm-hmm. And today it is $10. So there's just a variety of items on the website. There's a safety box as well on the website that has 5 items. It's typically $75. Today it's $65. So if you just scroll through the website, there's just tons of different deals in there. Just trying to make sure that we have something for everyone.
So is it all right? So the rhinestone lipstick stunt in the combo, that doesn't look like you got a weapon. I wouldn't know that if you pulled that out. I'm like, what are you going to do? Look good before I, attack you? All right. So that would take me by surprise. What about the thought that keeping things like this is dangerous because you could set it off on you? You could set it off on yourself, or somebody could take it away from you.
So there's a lot of different. So the good thing about Pretti Protection is we offer a variety of different tools. So like the lipstick stun gun, there's only 2 buttons. As you see that there's a top on it. It's concealed, it's discreet, so you can have it in your pocket. I keep it in my pocket, in my purse, in my car. You can have them multiple places. We also have stun guns that when you pull the pin out, it disables it. So that way, if someone was to take it from you, then they wouldn't even be able to use it on you. They would merely have a flashlight, and I guess they can throw it at you.
Okay.
Hope they have good aim. But that's pretty much it. So and then I also say the ones with the pin, that's good for if you have children, because you can always just take that pin out, store it separately when you're at home or when it's in your purse. Then the kids will just have a flashlight if they get to it. So those are just some simple things. And then as far as it being like, oh, you're dangerous because you have it.
Yeah.
My favorite saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay. All right. You should be taking notes, Jody, on this. All right. All right. Okay. Now, I also wanted to talk about the maintenance. Okay, so I got a stun gun. What happens when the battery runs out?
So when the battery runs out, what you want to do is just plug it up. They're rechargeable. So that is the plus about all of our stun guns. They are rechargeable. Every stun gun comes with a plug. You can plug it up just like you plug your light in, you plug your phone charger in. It's simple. And most of them come with cases as well. So there's where you can loop it through your belt, you can loop it through your purse, you can add it to your keychain. We have some that, just like the pepper sprays that come on keychains, we have them that comes on keychain. You even have them as a key fob, as you can see on the screen.
I was going to say, now that's new. That looks like it could be
just opening it. And that's one of my favorites, actually. I travel a lot, and I keep that on my keys, even going through places. Through different checkpoints and things, so that's one that a lot of people carry when they're traveling, especially like as you're getting on planes and things, because you can simply put that in your, you can put it in your suitcase and keep going. If you forget to put it in your suitcase, you may be able to keep going. I tell people though, that's a good one. Because it's discreet, and as well as if it's on your keychain, it's so easy to have, and it's not going to weigh your keychain down as well.
And I'm seeing you got a lot of different looks to it. You got the American flag, you got some camo.
Yep, we have black, pink, purple, bedazzled, small, big, everything you want.
So it doesn't have to just be some type of black box looking thing. That's what I see on TV. So apparently everything I see on TV, not necessarily true.
No. And we have flashlights as well. We have some that's just a flashlight. And you can turn it off. There's a major power switch where you can turn it off and it'll only be a flashlight. So there's just so many varieties of stun guns. I even have some that looks like little pistols. If you are one that's like, hey, wish I could get a gun, but I can't. Then I have a stun gun that's made just like a pistol. Funny story, I had a guy buy it from me, and I seen him a little bit later at a pop-up shop, and he pulled it out of a gun holster. That was pretty cool. He's like, I can't carry I don't want to carry, but this gives me, I'm still protected. So that was pretty cool, for me, a different outlook as well.
Okay, I'm just going through the customers' favorites. I think one looks like it's carbon fiber. That's cool.
Yes,
I like that. That caught my eye.
I would say a lot of men buy those.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. All right, maybe I can get one of those. Win some arguments at home. All right. Yeah.
Pretty protection.
Okay. All right. All right. So I want to talk about National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and why do you think people need to pay attention, even though we should be aware every month, but they set aside a month to bring about awareness. Why do you think it's important for us to recognize the plight of human trafficking, and what are some of the things that you think we need to do to be more aware?
The biggest thing is recognizing human trafficking is because human trafficking does not have there's no certain look. There's no certain age. It can be men, it can be women, it can be black, white, yellow, purple, human trafficking is just something that so many times we think of a certain stigma to it, and it's not. It's kind of like the flu. Anybody can get it, anyone can get caught by it. So also with human trafficking, we also just think about it being just sexual trafficking. Sometimes we don't realize that it's also labor trafficking, so when we have different like immigrants that come over and they're overworked and underpaid, that's trafficking, so that's the biggest thing. Anything human trafficking is the business of stealing freedom for profit. So that's big, just understanding the definition within itself. And that's most important, just knowing that.
And I also wanted to, I think Jody and we wanted to highlight this because as men, I don't see enough men, talking about this without being prodded to talk about it and dragged to talk about it. But we're the number one consumers and the number one perpetrators. So those of us who are not doing it, somebody has a daughter or a son. Yes.
Yes.
Someone has a niece or a nephew,
or even a mom,
or a mom. So why not us talk about it? I'm sure we're in those spaces where men with men are freer to talk our foolery. All right. So since I hear it, I've been in men, spaces. I'm like, man, is that what y'all do? So I think it's good for us as men to be able to bring some awareness to this. Yes, we're the number one perpetrators. We're also the number one customers. Yes. At the same time, if for migrant work, we're the number one traffickers, the number one perpetrators for sex. We're the number one traffickers, the number one customers. And if anyone says, well, Brother Washington, there may be some women that help. Well, you know what? That might be true, but the percentages are too low for me to even try to equate that with what we do as men. So you can miss me with that argument right there. So what are some of the things from your view of being the founder of Pretti Protection? What are some of the things you think we need to be looking at during this month?
First and foremost, as always, in any day, being aware. You just definitely need to be aware, especially, and then family. So a lot of times when we think of sex trafficking, we think of people we don't know. We think of kids being kidnapped and things of that nature, which I'm not saying that's not happening. But a lot of times with trafficking, it comes from people you love. It comes from spouse or close friends. Those. I tell a lot of young girls, be careful for when things are too good to be true. Hey, you can come with me and he'll pay for our trip and he'll pay for this and they'll pay for this and they'll pay for that. And, granted, sometimes there are just good people, but most of the time if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true, So I just say, look for that. And then routines for parents, look for those routines. Know your kid, know where your kids are, know the whereabouts and who your children are hanging with is a big thing. A lot of times with sex trafficking, people are introduced by friends. You know, it's a word of mouth thing. Or like you said, they're introduced, it's someone in their circle. So just being aware all the way around is being aware.
And I think you made a good point of too good to be true. And for men do, they will do reconnaissance. They will look at you and they will see that you look to be walking aimlessly.
Yes.
They will see that you have your ear pods in, you know,
head down.
It doesn't mean that they're not going to try Haley. I mean, they'll be pleasantly surprised. All right. So that's there too. But men are looking for an easy Vic.
Yes.
Because we don't want, well, I'm a part of, I'm going to say they.
The other men.
Yeah, other men. Yeah.
They don't want women walking with confidence.
Right.
You know, those are the harder ones. Most of the women who are trafficked, a lot of women who are trafficked, they are victims of trauma. They are, you know, we have foster kids, so they are vulnerable in so many ways. And those are the things that people look for. They look for the vulnerability. And once they see that you have that trauma, you have that vulnerability, then they give you a safe space only to take it away and make it not safe anymore. So once they build that trust in you, then they use those things to control you.
That's right.
So that's a myth where a lot of people are like, they're there because they want to be there. No. Sometimes they're there because they love that person, because for 7 years, you know, this was a great person to them.
That's right.
You know, so we just have to learn to understand and not judge. Because sometimes the understanding can be the helping point of saving someone's life. As far as men have to learn that they have to be accountable as well. You're accountable for your friends. You're accountable for the things you know without action. So that's a big thing too. I think a lot of times, if you're a good man and you're not in that circle, you may hear someone joke about that, like, oh, you know, sex trafficking, and you laugh thinking it's a joke. But I don't think a lot of times men understand the seriousness of these things unless it has happened to their kids or their family.
And I say that we're not stupid. Those of us that are in those spaces and not say anything, we know we co-sign it.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's a lot of us that are in those spaces and women are being disrespected. And if I'm not saying anything, then I'm in on it.
Absolutely.
You know,
silence is just as deadly.
It's complicit.
Yes.
You know, so those of us as men, you have a mom, you have nieces or a daughter, you've got friends that have nieces and daughters. You know, we can't take a blind eye to this. And the only time we want to be up in arms is when it happens close to home.
Yes.
But you weren't saying anything last week when you guys were joking in your club or joking at the golf course or wherever or at the barbershop.
Yes.
You know, we're not joking there, but as soon as it hits home, now I want to post, somebody help me, you know, do this or do that. It's a shame. Well, it was a shame last week when they were joking and you didn't say anything. So us as men, we know. If you say that you didn't know, then that's a problem too.
Absolutely.
You know, since when you've been so aloof and unaware, but you're aware of everything else, but that's the only thing that you didn't know.
Yes. And even with that, like you said, that you have daughters and you have nieces, and sometimes you have to understand that even if you don't say anything, sometimes it still may be your daughter or your niece, and they're not saying anything because a lot of sex trafficking victims do not speak up. They do not speak out. So it could be that your child or someone close to you could be that victim, and you're sitting here laughing with your friend because you think that your child is safe.
That's right.
And that may not be the case. Also understand as a man who you surround yourself with. You know, as a woman, I know that, you know, when you're 15 and when you're 16, you may be the little sister or the friend, you know, but once you become 18, then the same people that were calling you cousin or the close family friends are now trying to, you know,
that's right,
talk to you or holler at
that's
you.
Right.
Everything is hush hush, And a lot of times, as young girls, you don't say anything because you want to keep the peace, so just understanding that, what you see in a lot of men and what your friends see and do, that your family isn't off guard as well.
That's
so
right.
Just being alert and being aware is so important. And speaking up can change your life or even save somebody that you know's life.
All right, and if you're looking at our screen before we check out of here and bring Jody back, and we're going to do some community shout outs and solutions and get into some 5 minutes of heat. If you're looking for a reliable website, we just clicked on the Department of Human Services. Just click in human trafficking, and you either find a hotline, you either find some things that you should be looking for, and just spend this time trying to arm yourself with more knowledge about the things that's happening, could be right next door.
Yeah. And also, just if you look at the website, even if you can't, we have some people who say, well, I don't know if I can read all of that. They have a button that say listen. So you can listen to it. They'll read the website to you. So just, there's no reason for you not to be able to gain this knowledge, because it's free and it's life-saving for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask before we check out. It's a new year. Normally we talk about some of the things that you're grateful for, because Anika Fields comes on and we always do those 3 things that you're grateful for. But let's do both. Do you mind giving us 3 things that you're grateful for? And if you have any New Year's resolution type things, what are you doing?
So grateful for 3 things I'm grateful for. Life. Definitely grateful for life. I'm grateful for simplicity. I often
never heard that before.
Yeah, just grateful for the simple things in life, the air we breathe, walking in here. So just the simple things. And then I am grateful for family. I have a really great support system. And I'm very grateful for that. Just having a good support system as well.
All right. It's 2025. If you have any type of resolution type things that's going on with you, what is your New Year thing?
My New Year's resolution is discipline. I want to be more disciplined in life. I want to be more disciplined, and that goes to every aspect that it can touch. So whether it's being disciplined with being on time, whether it's being disciplined with routine, discipline with working out, I just want discipline. I'm very, very lax in a lot of things.
Okay.
I'm so simple sometimes that I just say, okay, so I just want to be more disciplined in everything I do. So.
All right. So, would you be willing to come back? Man, when are we going to have her back, Jody? All right. Well, I'm trying to make it look like it's a special. Trying to make it look like a special thing. I'm sorry, I had to break the fourth wall. Trying to make it look like all right. Yeah, that's what's up. That is true.
I definitely will be back. And then also, Jody has given me this necklace right here.
I see that.
Thank you, Jody. I know the next time I come back, Brother Washington will have my gift too. No,
I'm like, we got a whole bunch of tired buttons on that table over there. You already got 10 of them. All right, 4 more won't hurt.
One air. So I do appreciate this. I do wear a lot of them. The last necklace you have is actually at work, and I leave it hanging on my desk so I can get all the good energy.
That's right. All right, Lord knows I can have one on my desk. All right.
I'm gonna make Brother Washington one.
All right. I appreciate that. All right, I'll put it right on my desk.
Yes.
All right. Hey, listen, we're gonna take a short break. We're coming back with Jody Summers and community shout outs and concerns and our 5 minutes of heat. This is a CSRN podcast. Our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color, in many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, and shout out to Haley Sheares and Pretti Protection, and maybe we'll get a smoother transition from our new background to the video, but we're working on it. And family, if you see, if our video looks a little bit different today, we're working on some new things. We're working on our new background, and hopefully we'll have some things that if you like the background and if you want something that looks like that so you can have it in your home, we may be able to make something like that happen.
True.
All right.
Merchandise and stuff like that is part of keeping any business alive, especially in today's economy.
Right.
$7 eggs.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. You know what I wanted to do? I was trying to find this. There was something that I wanted to share with everyone. It wasn't I think it was here. Here we go. It was this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper. It's apocalyptic.
Okay. I can't see it. I had to wait for it to come up on my screen. We got that
apocalyptic
Janet Jackson delay.
Wildfires scorched parts of California, and this is the first time people have seen anything like this.
You know, conspiracy theories and all the stuff aside, it is still a loss because nothing has devastated that particular area. I mean, we all know California and stuff around this time of the year, we're the hot pocket country, crispy on the outside, cold in the center.
Yeah.
But this was a lot of history and legendary homes and people's pets, you know, whether they're rich or not. And I get the whole eat the rich. The fish did nothing to nobody. And I'm pretty sure they weren't worrying about getting them out of their mansion when it was burning down. So there's still a loss of life that's not recorded in human numbers.
Yeah. And my take on it is, you know that saying, what goes around comes around.
That too. I was trying to be like, it's very specific.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So myself and some of the other brothers are gonna have this Final Call newspaper. They just got in today. Final Call truck comes to Toledo every week, drops off the papers, and we try our best to disseminate them throughout the community. So just some quick shout outs for Impeccable Barbers. They allow us to keep the Final Call newspaper there. Bobby Howard's Carryout at Nebraska and in Hawley, Foster's Barbershop. Mr. Foster allows us to keep the papers there. Nitty's allows us to keep the papers there. Your community market is opening back up, and we just saw our brother Oscar come in the studio and say, hey, look, we want the Final Call newspaper back, here. And there's a few other places, Powell's, Yummies. So great thing. Oh, Blends, Steve's Sporting Cuts. So many businesses allow us to keep the Final Call newspaper there. And we talked about, and I'm going to get in and get out of this, what goes around comes around.
That is true.
And in America as a country is no different than Egypt, no different from Babylon, no different from Rome, no different than the English Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a nation starts checking the boxes the same way Rome checked the boxes, Sodom checked the boxes, Gomorrah checked the boxes, all of these places check the boxes before they fail. They have a time that somebody comes and warns them, and they got an opportunity to heed what this person said, or they normally string that person up and kill them. All right. All right.
Or raise the land and all the stuff.
Right.
History.
So America is in a space right now where you might want to watch the weather to see that America is being judged by its treatment of us. And people might say, hey, everybody's had slaves, not like us. Not like us. Not like us. So America has a small window of opportunity to recognize that you were wrong.
Well, we kind of decided that there with this election.
Yeah. So
we ain't wrong. We just America.
Hey, right.
The country.
Right. So America has a small window right now of recognizing what it's done, all right, to us. We're the problem and we're the solution. It could do right by us and be spared, or you could look at that termination notice and say, well, ain't nothing going to happen, all right, and think that my lights ain't going to get cut off. Or my gas ain't going to get cut off. So
there's a lot of insurance adjusters about to be denying claims up and down forever.
Yeah. So I wanted to put that out there. So get this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper. Will be in some of the barbershops and local businesses, or you might find us on the corners of Bancroft and Detroit. And man, so I hope it's not that cold. All right. But hey, if it is, it is.
We're finally getting a taste of winter.
Yeah, I signed up for it. So yeah, check us out. All right, Jody, I think that's it for me. What are some of the things that you've seen this week that we might want to be aware of?
Okay. Well, as this year is starting off and everything like that, I'm making sure to put my best foot forward and engage in some of the new groups that are starting, revolving around growth and healing and artistry and stuff like that. So I get to be the blip. I've also learned in the most nicest ways that I am very blunt and my sense of humor can be dark sometimes, but those that know me kind of know that it takes a little bit to get to the end of the sentence because there's a story in the middle. So this is why I show up to a lot of those places. Most of the time I am the only male or Black person or elected official or artist or person that catches the bus or all of the things in the room. And I'm okay with that because I know by just living life, so many people have come up, or person that goes to EDM shows, you wouldn't think of that. And now they think, or they know that it's safe to be there. So sometimes somebody has to be that first person to go in, like busting the doors off the hinges, and be all right with that. I am, but I do know when I introduce myself in some groups, in some spaces, I have to give the long drawn out, why are you in this domestic violence group? And you look like the person that domestic violenced me. And so I go into the story of explaining about my mother being murdered by a serial killer and all of the stuff that's led me to this path, writing books. So with all that to say, I went to something that's kind of starting. It's called the Gala of Healing. If you know MC Mossy or Yas Cold, she has a shop on LaGrange, like 2 blocks before Central.
Yeah, it's right down the street from where I work.
Yep.
I work right there at LaGrange and Central.
Yep. So we had our first of the year meeting. I believe we will be meeting again next week, and it's a completely free experience. You can come. It's a safe space to talk about your feelings, learn about the shop. I think we had some tea and some other stuff there. So if you want to come this Wednesday, check out her business page or mine, because I'll be sharing it again for what time you can attend if you are available and just want to get some stuff off your chest. Following that, on Saturday, we had the first open mic of the year, which was Uncloistered at the Attic on Adams. Shout out to Joni McKentry, all of the features, everybody that showed up. There were 14 people on the open mic list. We actually went to about, I think it was 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So that was a very good open mic to be at start the year.
Yeah.
Look forward to more things coming back. And as always, I'm going to post on my page. I'll try and share to the CSRN page different events, because everybody's doing something now with that. I believe there's a couple spots downtown that do the holistic healing and affirmations and stuff like that. So if you're looking for that, I do be looking up and down my timelines and see a lot of people go through a lot of stuff, and that is okay. You don't have to go through it alone. The purpose of reaching out to people is to find people who know a little bit more about the process than you. So it's not something to be afraid of. And then finally on Sunday, I went to Cups of Art, which is formerly known as Art on the Market, down at the Libby Glass place and everything like that. But it's under new ownership, and this is my second time being there. They do all kinds of stuff in the art community. I'm looking forward to seeing that space become another vibrant, big center for artists to go, and whether they want to do shows or showcase their artwork. The woman that owns it is a very interesting person with her hands in a whole bunch of things. I hope to be able to interview her. It's always funny when I'm out of things. I'm like, hey, I read a radio show. I want you to be a guest. And they're like, oh, I don't know what to do or what to talk about. And I kind of get to pre-ease them into talking to Brother Washington, because he always does the booking and stuff. So I hope to see her come on and talk about her experience. And anybody else out there, if you got a project coming up that is good for the city or is program based, talk to us. We want to talk to you. It's we're not here to talk about, even though it is jokey and we do like some levity in our show, we're not here to talk about the Montezes or the secret private groups on Facebook. We're here to talk about you and how you're actually benefiting your community. So that's a couple things that I've seen. I'll try and port them over, share them to the page. And I believe
I was thinking about the secret and private groups on Facebook. I'm missing out.
Toledo's been interesting for. There was also the Lucas County meeting for the $10 million. Was that last? No, that was this week that we talked about that. So that was at the East Toledo Family Center. So there's a lot of money moving and discussing about. This is also an election year, so you got about a month, maybe 2, before you start getting all that, hey, let me talk to my citizens talk.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get a couple that we do trust in here. But again, we're not pressed about that. We hope that when that time comes, you make your decision. Whatever happens in, what do we got, another day? 2 days? Before we see if all of the taunting and the bluffing is going to be factual. Don't go cashing out your bank accounts, trying to leave the country just yet, because even though we are flawed in a way, I think the checks and balances need a fresh view. And instead of the politicians and the people that want you to donate to their organization or nonprofit lying to you for the face, he's like, hey, I just want some money. And I'm going to find a way to get some money, which is we've always known about. So I hope you won't give up on yourself or your community because of some crazy guy in office.
All right. We got enough of them. Hey, before we get into 5 minutes of heat, I do want to talk about Junction Family Pharmacy. Check out my brother, Dr. Anthony Patton. He owns the pharmacy. So he doesn't work there. He's not working for anybody. He actually owns it. And he was teaching pharmacy, so he's legit. You can go in and he can switch out your prescriptions to their everything that anybody else has, he has. Any other drug that anyone else has, he has. And it gives us an opportunity to have a Black pharmacy in our community. So check out Dr. Anthony Patton at Junction Family Pharmacy, located right at the corners of Junction and Door. Check him out. If you like what we do, we'd like for you to subscribe to our YouTube page. Let's bring that up. It's Community Solidarity Response Network. Yes, it's a long name. You should have saw the name that we had before. We had to shorten it to this. So we're going to stick with this. So just type it in. Before you even type in response, it should drop down. Like the page, click the notifications, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. That way we get one of those YouTube things that come in the mail. I don't know if you get anything for that, but hey,
we can put it on the wall.
Okay,
right,
we'll put it on the
next to
wall.
our little backdrop.
Okay, we'll put it on the wall. What else do we have? We have the Black Lives Matter signs. Those are $20 each. Pick one up. It helps us continue to do what we do. We have the Defund the Toledo Police Department signs in that beautiful gold and blue, all right, that all of us know so much. Pick those up. And if you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App, CSRN Toledo 419, and PayPal is CSRN 419. So the PayPal is different from the Cash App. So next Giving Tuesday, keep us in mind. It helps the activists and protest community continue doing what they do, which is push back on everything. It matters not if it's education, if it's health, if it's police violence, if it's the clergy, whatever it is that we need to bring awareness to, it allows us to be more effective in doing that.
It gives us the ability to continue growing and going without having to panhandle to people saying we're doing this just for, the ulterior motive of we want to fix everything, which is true. We have our specific goals and we have our things that like our mission statement and stuff. And we would never want to lose sight of that because somebody offered us a certain amount of money. Going into that and stuff and thinking about next month is Black History Month and what we've already witnessed in the first 2 weeks. We've had mass drivings, I guess you could say, with New Orleans and already shootings and bombings. And now with the whole after effect of the fires that's probably about to start hitting the country. Just wanted to remind people a little bit. I think I'll be reading Trust Us.
All right.
And, why do we do 5 minutes of heat?
Well, we do 5 minutes of heat because this is a way that we can end our meetings unlike our former slave masters and their children. They slam a gavel, and if you're like me, the last time I heard a gavel slammed, it was all bad for me. So we try to do things a little bit different. I went back in the recesses of my mind and pulled out a song by Houdini called 5 Minutes of Funk. So we kind of remixed it. We call the way we end with creative expression, we call it 5 minutes of heat. And for the last 10 years, we've looked to Jody to provide some creative expression. Of course, there may be others that do it too, but we appreciate you for freely giving your gift to make this happen. And what do you have for us today?
Today I'm going to do Trust Us, which is the piece that I wrote about a month before the war between Russia and Ukraine. I was thinking about Black History Month and stuff because let's see, when was the actual? So the 12th of 2022. So we're around the same time.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, what I was thinking about, but I wanted to do it. And it's kind of funny. Well, not funny. But then after that, then we had the war in Ukraine, and then Arab world, all that stuff, but it shows what leaders say and what they actually do. If you've ever seen the movie Roddy Piper, They Live. So a little bit of that, the subliminal messaging that now Meta is about to become, because we have lost the fact checker, which no system is perfect, but I do fear for what may come, especially with who knows what's going to happen. Unfortunately, TikTok is going to go one way or another. It's either going to be sold or lost. And even if it is sold to us, I don't know if that's the best thing, because now we get another type of TikTok X situation, and seeing who is and could be in that cabinet seat is interesting. But and I haven't done my intro. Forgot me about the intro last year. So, and this intro actually is in part to Brother Washington, because when you get on stage and you introduce yourself, you want that, quick line that hits people and gets people in the mood. So this is mine if you ever see me as a feature. I am an open book, yes, an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me, and a lifetime, yes, a lifetime, to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage, yes, on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace. Trust us. When you are too sick to fight, too scared to run, and misinformed to the point where you don't trust anyone, they will come for you. They will come for your ability to travel. They will come for your ability to feed your family. They will come for your ability to shelter your family. They will come for your ability to educate your family. They will come for your ability to provide for your family. When you are too sick to fight, too scared to run, and misinformed to the point where you don't trust anyone, we will incentivize you. We will use your religious beliefs against you. We will offer you freedom. We will confuse you with choice. We will give you everything that delays you from independent thought. When you are too sick to fight, too scared to run, and misinformed to the point where you don't trust anyone, you will do anything, yes, anything we tell you to. You will march, protest, and divide yourselves amongst your strength. You will fight over everything we tell you to. You will do the ostracizing and identifying for us. You will obey. You will not question. When you are too sick to fight, too scared to run, and misinformed to the point where you don't trust anyone, give us everything we ask for. Give us your identity to sell to our designer products. Give us more time than you have to spend with your family or yourself. Give us your fear, hate, love, dreams, and we will create a lifestyle you will never want to leave. Give us your pain, sorrow, anguish, loneliness, and nightmare-filled tears, so we can create a world where you're the victim in every scenario. Give us your hope. When you are too sick to fight, too scared to run, and misinformed to the point where you don't trust anyone, trust us, and we will give you everything we feel you deserve that will come for you. And as long as you trust us, giving us everything we ask for, we will offer you anything we want, anything you want. In peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers and want to just thank you once again, Jody, for blessing us. Hey, listen, we do want you to just tune in back with us next week. Another exciting guest. Who will it be? I mean, if we told you, you probably, well, we don't know, but no, this has been an awesome, journey for us. Starting where we were in the Padua Center, or in the library,
Camp Branch,
then Kent Branch, and then at one point we started meeting across the street at the old Mott Branch Library, and then from there to the mosque, to the Padua Center. I don't know if we met.
I think we met at the Doug a couple times. The church that's down off of Monroe in Detroit.
Yeah,
we had some time there.
Yep. So we've been around in all of those places that we met. We can always go back.
Yeah.
All right, we can always go back. But right now, Mott Branch Library or Maconda has been dynamite, and as always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else?